Evening, boys.
Evening, Sally.
Welcome to The Chatting, your local pubcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the other Mark. 3 pints, Sally. And what are you having?
I'll have a Long Island iced tea.
Cheers. I'll fetch him over.
Evening, boys.
Evening.
Rob. How we doing?
All good, yeah?
Yeah.
Your day's been all right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You going for something different today, Rob? What's that you're supping?
I'm at Shipyard.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm obviously a craft beer drinker, but
Yeah.
fancy
You've
an
got a beard.
IPA. Yeah.
Just a beer.
I
so's
fancied
Kirk,
I
but-
fancied a Shipyard, yeah. I like this one, though.
Steady, innit?
Yeah. I mean, I'm partial to a Stones. Now we've talked about that in the past.
Now we're
I do
talking.
love a Stones.
Showing your age.
You're going to
Yeah.
say you are showing your age. That is
But I
like
thought
my
I've
age
got
group.
to change it this week.
is it gonna
Change
be-
it up a bit.
Is it going to be a session weekend, do you think? Few beers? Or?
Could be. It might be tonight because I've slept so long today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be on beer and then whiskey. Just to try and
How
knock
many
me out.
hours did you overlay by today, Rob?
Oh, I went to bed at 6:30 and got up at 3. After a night shift. I normally only have 4 hours because I want to go back to bed that night and sleep, trying to put myself back into a normal sleeping pattern. And it didn't work. I've obviously woke up, silenced my alarm and thought, I'll just have 5 minutes more. I woke up at 3.
Did you only have one alarm set?
Yeah.
You don't have multiple alarm sets like
Do
some.
you know what? I don't.
Is that just something that old people do?
Listen, I don't need to set alarms. I just get up like a spring chicken in the morning.
Yeah.
Talking about getting up, I tell you what does happen. This is completely true. I wake up in the morning between 8:15 and 8:17.
Yeah.
That's without an alarm. I just automatically wake up. Don't matter if I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
I've started to realise I've never been an early morning person. Now, I'm always up late and then, but I've started to notice now that unless I get up earlier, unless my alarm's set earlier, if I don't set an alarm or whatever, you're guaranteed between 7:30 and 10 to 8, I will wake up.
Yeah.
And that's when I know I'm getting old because I have to wake up and go for a piss.
See, I'm really strange, and I don't know if I've just become
know.
really... Well, thanks. But I'll wake up, look at my phone, and my alarm is about to go off. It's lit.
It's scary that, innit, when that happens.
And it
meditated
happens,
to
I dare
what's gonna
say,
happen.
90% of the times, I look at my phone, if I wake up and I think, crikey, have I set my alarm? And I have a look, and it's like a minute to my alarm, or my alarm's just about... And
I'll tell you what
how
I
that works,
sometimes
I've
do.
no idea.
What I do, if I need to get up in the morning for whatever time, like I'm getting a train or whatever, I'll set my alarm, and obviously I wake up in the morning, I think, oh yeah, I get up, go for a wee, and then I forget I'll set my alarm, and then while I'm having a wee, my alarm's going off. I'm like, oh my god, it's stressing me. That stresses me out. My alarm's going off, and I'm having a wee, and I'm like, oh.
And what happens if you leave your alarm going? Does the house burn down?
I just
You don't know. All he's got is water droplets all the way from the toilet.
How's your day been, Kirk?
Yeah, good, yeah. I tell you something. Driving to work this morning.
Yeah.
And I passed a lorry on fire. And it were proper ablaze. It was on the other side of the road, other side of dual carriageway. And it must have only just happened. There were no emergency services there yet. There were no fire brigade. It was proper ablaze. And it was really weird because then for the rest of my journey, the only thing I could think about was like in a car fire or a lorry fire.
Was it just that on its own? Were there any other vehicles?
I was just about to say, was there a guy stood near it? Or
Yeah, where was the lorry driver?
Well, I didn't see any person, but bear in mind it was still dark
probably on
when
fire.
I was driving to work. So it was still dark, and obviously it's ablaze as well. So you only naturally look at the fire if you like. No one seemed to be panicking, and cars were driving past it on the other side, which then got me thinking, what happens if that explodes? I don't even know whether that's a thing, whether cars or lorries do explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do.
You
I
know,
don't think they, not quite that we see in Hollywood films, but they definitely do.
But the cars were like driving past it and stuff, and I thought, what happened if that exploded now? And what kind of? And it just got me thinking, as it does. I always overthink things, and I couldn't help but then sit there and think to myself, do you know what? Burning alive must be one of my worst fears.
Oh, my God.
Fears. Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, it's the fact that if you've got a seatbelt on and in your head all you're thinking is, I've got to get out. Bear in mind, you're either on fire or just the vehicle's on fire, and the heat from that must be incredible. And you're just thinking, I've got to get out the door, out the window, undo the seatbelt. I just
panic
That
sets
is-
in. And
that
you can't,
really
and you can't
is
operate that
scary.
clip
Yeah.
because your head's just gone so much
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when, as I follow Formula One. A couple of seasons ago, a Formula One driver crashed into a barrier.
Yeah, I think
his-
I
I
saw
literally
this.
saw this
I
about
saw
4
this.
days, and I've seen it before, but 4 days ago it was on a.
I know.
some
I think I
Instagram
know what you're
video.
going to say, Kurt. But go on.
I mean, it was horrific. It was absolutely horrific. You don't. Obviously, you see a lot of crashes in F1, but F1's very safe nowadays. I mean, it still has dangerous elements, but compared to what it used to be, but you very rare you see fire. Very rare you see, stuff like that. Obviously, the banned refueling, blah blah blah. So to see fire and a proper fireball, and somebody sat in that car, and obviously he got out, but only just, if you like. And the interview that they had with him a few days after. Not saying someone stuck a microphone in his face as he's running away from it, but the interview they had a few days, and it was so awful to listen to because basically he said he knew he was on fire, he knew that the car around him was on fire. He tried to get out, but he was stuck, so his foot was stuck under the pedal. And when he tried to turn his body to get up, he was then stuck on the halo that's above them. And he said he got to a point where he sat back down and almost like
No, really?
yeah, he
just
like
thought, this is it. This is it.
accepted that he was going to die.
Wow.
It's
Strange because you talk about fire, and one of Helen's biggest fears is drowning. It's water. And two things that maybe I've not been in a situation scary enough for me to think about it that, in such a dire way. Fire and water doesn't really scare me as such in terms of, what happens if and what happens. I don't know what it is. I just, the element of escape perhaps, or with certainly water you can swim, or you can certainly try. But for me, my worst fear, heights. Well, it's not
me
my
too.
worst fear, but it's the one that recurs most frequently. My worst fear is dying, but I don't really think about that so much as I've gotten older for some reason. Even
Can I
though I'm
say
getting close to it.
it's almost like there's varying degrees of fear / scared, isn't there? Like the highest one, would you say, is phobia? Phobia is like that's not necessarily something that you can control.
Yeah, so it's strange.
Yeah.
So dying for me is one that used to wake me up. I'd literally wake up in hot sweats,
Wow.
and that usually occurs after a really, I don't know, a good spell, if you like. Everything's cosy at home, everything's cosy at work, you're on top of things, and everything's going well. And I don't know what it is. Something just almost triggers to go, right, this can't carry on. This is not normal for everything just to be rosy all the time. And then a nightmare or whatever, and you wake up and you go, oh god, and you don't want it to end. So I literally wake up, panic, and throw my arms around Helen like, God, I don't want this to end.
Because phobia is technically an irrational fear.
Well,
so
that's right. Well, moving away from that to what I suppose is irrational in terms of some of the thinking is heights. Even though it's not irrational to be scared of something in case you could fall from a height.
Absolutely.
What is irrational, and I know I'm not alone because I've looked online. People have an urge to jump when they're at heights. And that creates I don't know if it further compounds the fear of heights, but you can be upstairs in Meadowhall or a shopping centre or whatever, or top of a bridge, and you look down and you get these like butterflies, and it's almost like, what if I jump? And obviously you're not going to jump, but there's like this. Where does that thought even come from?
Yeah.
And I've read it's actually really, really common, and most people that have a fear of heights suffer with that same feeling. And I don't know, and that's probably what creates the irrationality.
Well, talking about that jumping off things, I've been on a few cruises, and I've always thought when you're looking out, particularly in the middle of the sea, and you're looking over into the sea, particularly at night time, you think, well, what if I just jump over here?
Yeah.
Do you get the butterflies when you think it?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I'm more like you, Mark, with heights. I'm really scared of heights. But going back to the cruise thing, you just think, well, if I just jump off this cruise ship now in the middle of the night, that's me dead.
Yeah, and it's not so much that you're on the cruise; it's the link between the fear of heights and the urge to jump.
It is, but it's also the fact that if I jump off it, I'm not particularly going to die. I'm not going to die straight away. I'm not hitting concrete, and I'm not that far. But it's just the fact that I've just jumped overboard. I'm probably going to be bobbing around in sea. Nobody's going to see me. I'm going to be done.
I can 100% identify with that. Yeah, I mean, having worked on them for a while, I've experienced that more than once. I stood on the side of the ship looking down and almost playing it out in your head. What happens? And what happens after that? When you hit the water, how does it feel? Then how do you then, what happened? And I've felt myself physically, my arms are putting my hands on the rails, pushing myself away. Like I'm arguing with myself.
And that's exactly the feeling. And it's not the jump into your death, Mark, that you might think that if you jump off something that you're thinking, oh, what if I jump now? Oh, would I land all right? Would I be able to... And there's all these things that you think, oh, would I grab onto the rails on the other side and keep myself so I'm not falling? And it's completely, it's bonkers. And where can that come from? And for so many people to have that same.
Well, it's the fact that I'd be just, if I were bobbing about in the sea, okay, I'm not dead, but I'd just see the ship just sailing off in distance, and I can't look around going, oh, it's okay, there'll be another ship in him. There isn't. That's it. I'm going to die. It's just, that is scary.
Would you say, I'm guessing that's not your, if I said to you, what are you scared of? What is your fear?
Yeah,
would that be your response?
No, that's not my fear. It's a fear, but it's not my fear. I don't like flying. Although I do fly, I am a bit scared of flying. And every time I go on a flight, it's a bit weird because the more flying I do, the scarier, the more scared I get. Because it's almost like I'm doing more flying. So there's more chances of something happening. So it does, I don't like taking off, I don't like landing.
I love flying. I love it.
I knew you were going to say that because you do.
That feeling when he just first takes off and that bit of levitation.
No, absolutely love it. Absolutely, them jets kick in.
Are any of you scared of spiders?
Yes.
No.
How small are they? And how bloody terrifying?
No, they're massive. They're massive.
You're in a toilet or you're in the shower. You turn around and there's one there, and it's offering you out in it. It's like, right, we're having some, and you're whoa! It's about
Let's not forget it's got 8 legs.
Yeah, but it's
and they run fast.
It's not even ½ inch in size, and it's massive.
It is massive.
You could genuinely put a tarantula on that table and I'd pick it up and put it outside for you.
That's slightly different, I think.
Well,
tarantulas I'm okay with.
I've gone cold thinking.
You know they're spiders, right?
Yes, big,
no,
hairy
I'm scared
spiders.
So what you're saying is you're not scared of big spiders. You are not scared of big spiders, but you're scared of small spiders.
Yes and no. So context to that, a tarantula's massive.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared of that.
So about 10 tarantulas.
I'm getting. You're going into the realms of I'm a celebrity now. So
could you do that? Go in one of those coffin things where they drop all the spiders and things in. Could you imagine?
No.
Jeez.
But a little spider, then I'm not so bad with it. But as they start getting like bigger, I'm scared of them. But then when they get to tarantula size, they're too big, so I'm okay.
We laugh about it in house because if the kids have got a spider in the bedroom or whatever, they don't shout me, they shout Daisy.
Yeah.
Well, get Robin. He's okay with them.
Absolutely.
Kirk, what's yours?
Rob's okay, but he's still asleep.
What are you scared of?
It's like going back to what you were saying, that I have what could be classed as irrational fears. And it's really hard to explain. Not hard to explain, hard to understand. Because when I think about fears, I always wonder, we're all built the same fundamentally. We think differently and stuff, but we all are built the same as human beings. But yet, why is it that someone's scared of heights and someone isn't? Why is it someone's scared of drowning and someone isn't? Burning alive, to me, is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
But I guess everybody would find that terrifying. So I don't think you could really see that.
Rob might not.
Yeah.
Rob might be okay with that. Are you cool with that?
I would definitely be.
So I think like an irrational fear is usually something like being scared of sharks and you live in Rotherham.
Yeah. So I think it's a good point though, because I think there's a difference between a fear, like going back to what you were saying, Rob, about different levels, and you say like obviously phobia is the top one. I disagree with that slightly. I actually think a fear is the top, as in something that you are fearful of.
Well, yeah, especially because if it's not irrational, then that's even more prevalent. Prevalent's the right word, is it? But
sounds like a posh car.
Yeah,
but,
you know what I mean.
Phobias. Do you know what? I don't like heights. I don't like swimming in deep water because I'm not a very strong swimmer.
No.
Have I ever told you the story about when Rob nearly killed me in water?
No, I'm not saying it's funny.
I'm not sure. I remember this,
but I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Well, I will. Settle in. So we was on holiday. We was in Florida, and we was at a water park. I can't remember which one it were. That one with the big wave machine. Mark, you might be able to tell me.
Typhoon Lagoon.
Typhoon Lagoon.
Yes.
We're in Typhoon Lagoon. And I was sat there, I was quite happy to sit and watch everybody else. I'm not a big fan of...
Everybody else?
Watch everybody else. I mean, if it's on offer...
Hanging out in the
see.
showers.
You know?
You'll not be way back there anytime soon.
You know me. But fundamentally, I'm quite happy to sit and watch other people when it comes to water parks and stuff. I'm not that bothered, not a strong swimmer. And Rob was like, come on, you've got to get in. And I'll give you the whole, why have I got to get in? Rob's like, come on, stop being a pussy. So, right, fine, okay. Went into this water, right? At this point, I don't know that it's like a wave machine or whatever it is. Now, I know you probably sat there thinking, well, we've all been in a wave machine, Kurt. You know, let's settle down. You've never seen anything like this before in your life, right? It is. At least back me up on this, boys.
Oh, the good ones.
It is a big.
Your green
It's a
says
big
it all,
wave
Rob.
machine.
It
good
is a
waves.
big wave, right? So we gets there, and all of a sudden, you hear, is it like a bell or an alarm that goes off, I think?
Yeah, it's a siren.
A
isn't it?
siren. And all of a sudden, you hear this massive bang, which is obviously the metal plate sliding under the mechanism to create the wave. And as it bangs against the thing, it's coming. And I remember stood there, and I was probably, I don't know, up to maybe just bottom end of my chest. And bear in mind, I'm 6'2". And all of a sudden, I see this wave coming to me. Right, it is bigger than me. It's coming at me. Okay, I turns around to Rob and said,
Had Rob run off?
I turned around to Rob and I said, do I go over it? Do I try and jump over it, or do I go under it?
Why don't you ask the little kids who are in front of you? They'd tell you.
But I started to panic. You're talking about someone that's not a very strong swimmer. I didn't know it was going to happen. I didn't really want to get in the pool in the first place. I turns around to Rob to ask his advice. He just starts.
What did you call him?
Oh, he's got his moaning head off.
He just starts laughing.
I'm sure I said go under.
Under. So Rob's no, sorry, you said go over.
Oh.
You said go over.
And I won't advise that now.
So you said go over. You went just. In fact, I think his exact words were, just jump over it. Okay? So I'm waiting for this wave and it's coming closer and closer and closer. And obviously, as it's getting closer, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And all the time, I'm sat there, I'm looking behind my shoulder at Rob, who's actually backing away from it. So then I jumped at the point where I thought I should jump. But as I jumped, the top of the wave took me back with it, rolled me under the water.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I felt as I was then stuck
That sense
under
of
the water.
I
I then struggled to the back, to the top, to which then another one was... It was horrendous.
It was a busy day for the lifeguards that day.
It was horrendous.
This is brilliant.
Okay? And once I'd finished coughing and spluttering and getting over the fact that I thought I would die, Rob looked me dead in the eye and went, I think I meant under.
Did you whip him with a wet towel after?
I mean, brilliant. Kirk's biggest fear in life.
Yeah,
Wave machines.
Going to a water park.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of water. I don't mind getting in a pool that I can touch the bottom or whatever. I don't mind water, but you'd never really have me swimming in open water or anything like that.
Brilliant.
On a completely different note, I know we're talking about fears like spiders, heights, and all that sort of thing, and flying. I've got a different type of fear that I'm sort of fearful of, and that's like losing my livelihood, losing my business. I know that's completely in a different direction of what we're talking about.
No, it's not.
No.
It,
But
because,
it's a fear that's more. That's a more rational one to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm self-employed, I could lose my business. I mean, I know you guys. We can all lose our jobs, and we probably all it's happened. But that's a fear, because what happens if I lose?
Especially when you've had it for
know.
so long as well. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, how long have you owned your business?
33 years I've had my business.
It's a long time, isn't it?
That's a lot of hokey cokeys.
It is a lot of hokey cokeys. So that is a genuine fear that I have, because of how I work, because I have these contracts. It's a fear that I may lose them or they'll be taken away from me. And one particular place that I've worked in for a long time, if I lost that'd be quite, not only is it a fear, but I'd feel quite. I would have felt like I've lost something.
It's like a sense of pride as well, because you've
Yeah.
worked so hard to build that, and then
It'd be almost like losing a child, almost, in that sense of the word.
At least you'd be young enough to start again.
I would be, because I'm only 28, so I'm quite young.
That is really true, that, Mark, because it's the time spent as well, the time you've put into it, the time.
Yeah.
It's not just it isn't just a business. It's what you've put into it over the years to get it to where it is now. For that then to be almost like rug pulled beneath you and it all to come down at this point in your life. Yeah, I can see exactly why that's a fear. And in all honesty, that is one of my it's not in exactly like that. It's not my biggest fear, by the way. I'll get to that. But I feel I'm scared to leave the job I'm doing now to do something that I feel like I should be pursuing.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
So although it's like the opposite to you, it's like a new start, but I'm scared to do it.
Yeah.
I'm scared to start it. Yeah, I feel like I've got a skill, a talent to do something which is, well, it's videography. You guys all know it's videography and being creative, and the thought of coming away from engineering and on what I would consider a good wage to go into that scares me, and it's what's holding me back from doing it. And again, on the scale of fears, it's a different type of fear, and it's different, but it definitely is there. It's something that I have to acknowledge and go, I'm scared of this.
Will you take the leap, do you think?
I think you will, won't you?
I genuinely do feel that although it's taken me a while, and it's just little increments, just slowly cropping in, and I do think it might happen.
Yeah.
But that's not my biggest fear. And I'm listening to yours thinking, wow, mine's dark.
Oh.
Well, it's certainly darker than what yours are, because
we're
when you
talking
say
about
yours, I'm
spiders,
thinking,
me and
well,
Mark.
yeah, genuinely.
I have a feeling I think I know what he's going to say.
Well, I'll let you say that in a minute. But what I will tell you is things like the snakes, the spiders, they don't really bother me. But what I will say on that front is anything that moves faster than me, I would say I'm particularly wary of.
A spider?
Not really. No, I don't consider that
It's
to
not
move
a new
faster than
sport.
me.
What,
you mean a cheetah?
I mean,
A
I know they
lion?
can move fast, but it's silly. A bird.
A lion?
Put a bird in the room. It's so I can't work
'cause it's so
out where
scatty.
I can't work out where it's going or where it is. So I'm like, I panic.
Well, the thing is, the bird's in panic, and so
Yeah.
you're just feeding off each other's panic, aren't
absolutely.
you? It's like,
Yeah. If there's if I'm in a
whack it, just whack it
situation,
with
you're not doing an
newspaper.
impression or a pigeon.
do you know what? I'm going to go back on what I said. When you said spiders, if a spider is 10 centimetres away from my face, or it's looking at me with fangs out.
Fangs?
Well,
What
they've
sort
got
of
some
spiders
sort
you
of
got in
teeth,
your
haven't they?
house?
Pincers, aren't they?
Well, whatever they are, whatever it's got. If it's looking at me and it's that close, I probably won't get away from that quick enough. Then I'd be scared. But it's anything that can move faster than me to be able to get away. But I think that's probably
So come
human
on,
instinct.
we need to go dark, Rob.
Okay,
I'm
I'll go
intrigued
dark.
now. You've got me
Okay.
hanging. What
Yeah.
is it?
I want to guess.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
go on,
okay.
and guess.
I think it's something like illness to like getting ill of some sort.
Not really, no.
Right, okay.
Is it dying?
No. You're not far off there, but it's not. But there's more to it. It's
Getting murdered.
you're even closer.
Oh, murdering someone.
Getting... I think I know what it is. Aliens.
No,
Oh,
you've had enough guesses.
Come on, Kirk.
come
Have
on.
you done
You're holding
yours?
back.
Listen, I just went with my initial guess.
Yeah, and everyone else has
And it was
chipped in.
wrong.
So, I am petrified of the thought of someone confronting me with a weapon.
All right.
Oh, right.
So
okay,
it's not
yeah.
it's not what happens at the end of it. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
process of
Just-
getting there.
Yeah.
If someone approached me with a knife, which is very prevalent these days, I would be petrified.
Prevalent.
And
You'd like that pronunciation, don't you?
have I said that a few times? Probably not even the right one. And do you know what? Guns don't bother me
Whoa.
because it's instant.
Wow.
If they pull
Well-
that trigger, I'm done.
Well,
If-
it
what
depends
if they
where
shoot
they
you?
shoot.
oh,
Yeah,
well,
what if
sure.
they shoot you in
Even
leg?
in the chest, I genuinely feel as though it would be so fast that, and don't get me wrong, the build up to it, if someone's threatening that they're going to do it, then I'd be petrified again. But the ones that stick in my head, it's a scenario almost, and it's someone confronting me with a knife or a bat or something that I know.
Like a dark alley sort of
Yeah,
situation.
I'm going to feel this, but I'm not on my own. And that is that either I've got one or two or both with me, Gemma and the dog. because it's my job. It's not necessarily my job, but it is my job
Yeah.
to defend them.
That's certainly how you'd feel.
Yeah, I've got to deal with this situation, and I can't stand there and not do anything. I can't run, because what if they can't run faster than me? So I've got to deal with this, and I've got to confront them. And that is, for me, when I say it, that I think that's fear for me. That's what I think. And it's just knowing I'm walking into this situation and I've got to deal with it. And you know, you look at it deeper.
Is there a trigger that's like started that?
I don't think so. But if now you say it, I don't feel like when I was young, I did karate, but for like, let's say 5 months. But other than that, I have done no martial arts, no self-defense of any kind. I've never boxed, never done anything. So I live off this instinct that if it ever happened, I'll see red and I'll turn into, you know,
Hulk,
and I'll start smashing, you know, and I'll start doing what. But in reality, I know if I was on my own, I'm running.
Yeah.
Fight or flight, I'm gone.
Which, by the way, if you are on your own,
Yeah.
if anybody is on their own at any point, and somebody comes up to you with a bat or a knife, the best form of self-defense is leg it.
Absolutely, it is.
I would say it is.
Absolutely leg it. Now, I get what you mean about when you're with your wife or, you know, this and other, or you're cornered. Absolutely. And I certainly don't, with the world that we're in now, I wouldn't say that that's an irrational... I know you didn't say that it was irrational, but I wouldn't say that that's an irrational fear.
Well, I was once approached with someone with a baseball bat, but luckily I was in a car.
Really?
And he walked out. I drove to a petrol station at night. In fact, it was New Year's Eve.
You've not played his request, had you?
He followed me and he saw his baseball. But generally, I drove to this petrol station. It was now New Year's Eve after I'd finished working. Pulled into this petrol station, and then I sort of saw him out of the corner of my eye walking, you know, towards along the forecourt, shall we say, with a baseball bat, with his shirt off.
Jesus.
So
New Year's Eve, his shirt off.
It was cold. It was cold.
I remember you telling me this now.
In fact, I've got it on video. Because I got
dash
it
cam?
on my dash cam.
Of course, he's got a dash cam.
Got it on my dash cam.
So on Betamax.
And I listen, I know how much a price of beer was way back then. So I didn't get out of the car just because I could see him out of the corner of my eye. So I didn't get out of the car. I just carried on driving. But I realised that because of how it was sort of the layout, I had to sort of double back on myself. So all he did was cross back over to the road, and then he walked in front of my car, wielding this baseball bat, and I didn't know what to do. So all I did was reverse back slowly, and before I had time to think, he sort of then stood to one side and waved me on. It's almost like to go, "It's okay, you can go."
Wow.
Which completely
Guy's having problems, isn't it?
Which completely confused me, but then I drove forward, and so it's similar to Rob's.
Do you think
but
that was someone that was trying to put fear in you, but then once they'd done
I
it?
think there's something wrong with the guy walking around on New Year's Eve without a shirt
Well,
on.
yeah, absolutely, but
with a bat.
for whatever reason he's got his shirt off, and for whatever mental health issues he's got going on. What I mean is, do you think that it was almost like he'd done his job? It's a bit like Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah, get a kick out of it.
If you on Halloween put a costume on to scare little kids in a way that's
Who's doing
not
that?
you're not friendly, but as in, you know, on the street, and then they go out and they
You're the local clown, Rob, aren't you?
Yeah.
You go out
Yeah.
scaring old kids come home crying.
But once the kids have screamed and ran, your job done. You're not going to continue to chase them. You've done your job, and that thought in my head thinks at the point where you're at the point where you're like, fight or flight. What am I going to do? And he goes, it's all right.
Look, it's like one of them things, isn't it? The world that we live in now, that people are genuinely under the impression they can do what they want. So are there people out there that want to just create fear? Absolutely. Absolutely. And do you know what? In their head, they can do it. So therefore, they're going to. And it's just that sense of, that's what makes me fearful of the world that we live in now, that we're surrounded by
Lunatics.
yeah, absolutely. But people that genuinely think, even on the smallest of scale, big scale, whatever it is, genuinely people that think they can do and behave however they want.
Yeah.
And it's their right to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how that makes you feel, or how that makes you feel, or how scared it makes you feel.
Well,
or
they
how
don't care. They don't
dangerous it
care.
is.
They don't care.
Don't care at all.
No.
Don't care at all. So I think the fear that you have of something like that, Rob. I understand. I absolutely understand.
I'm thinking when you're all saying yours, I'm thinking, wow, mine's dark compared to yours. But listen, you were talking about phobias, right? So you've all said a few things. Quiz time, right? You ready for this?
Like a
Right.
quiz.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
So the
Unprepared.
world's top 5 phobias.
Oh.
Okay.
The world's
The
top
world's top 5
Are
phobias.
we to guess these? Is that
Yeah,
what we're going to do?
well. The
or are you
question
going to read
is,
them out?
what is arachnophobia?
Spiders.
Spiders.
Correct. That's number 1. So spiders is
That's us
quite-
three, not you.
Yeah,
Rob.
absolutely. That's not for me.
We all know that spiders are getting ready
Could
to
you
take over
imagine?
the world. You just haven't got there
no.
yet.
Could you
Absolutely.
imagine being at the top of a really long, tall step?
Did you just say
Set of steps.
Did you just say one?
Ladders.
One step.
I'm already shivering at the thought of this as I say it. You're climbing some really, really, really tall ladders, and there's a spider at the top. Could you? You're like,
I just,
He can have it. He can
I
have
just
the ladders.
faint.
That's
I
it.
just put me out of misery. I'm gone.
Brilliant.
go on, Rob.
So that was number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, what is ophidiophobia?
Ophidia.
Is it flying?
Ophidiophobia.
Is it flying?
No.
Is it that where
Video.
people's got a phobia of hearing somebody eat?
No,
No.
So would that'd be birds, wouldn't it?
No.
Isn't that it?
I think we've mentioned it. We've said it tonight.
Go on then.
Snakes.
Oh. Now I don't like snakes. I won't say it's a fear, but I don't like snakes.
And one
See,
third.
I'm okay with snakes.
1/3 of the adult population
In the
are
world.
scared, and the world are scared of snakes.
Wow.
1/3.
Wow.
None of us are.
No,
I mean,
like
don't
say,
get me
don't
wrong.
like
If
them.
I woke up in bed and there were a snake, just
Well,
like I'd
What,
well,
bother him?
I don't. Yeah, I'd be gone.
Can I be honest and say that
Ellen
it only...
would name it. She'd
Absolutely.
it's Sammy the Snake.
Absolutely. And then give it
Don't know where that
three
came
nicknames.
from.
Give it
Anyway.
3 nicknames.
But you go to Tenerife or whatever, and a guy comes out and says, "What do you want?" Pedro with his
Lucky man.
python. Steady on. He comes around and will put that around your neck and have your photo with kids, and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's all right, isn't it?" But could you imagine? It's. I think some of it's situation, isn't it? If,
Yeah.
if you were like, if you open your fridge and there were like a cobra staring at you.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it'd be very cold, but anyway, forget that.
Honestly, I dare say that only recently, through the likes of Instagram videos that pop up, I never realised how fast this... I always thought a snake.
They
What
move
you scared
quite fast,
about?
I
Like,
think.
they're slow. They're
Well, they
like,
can move.
They are rapid.
And how come you're not scared of him then?
Well, exactly. Beat time and place.
Yeah,
but
tickle
to
his
look
belly.
at them, like if you put one in the room, I wouldn't be like gone out that door, which some people they'd just be gone, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, right.
I'm more got in my head the fact that I don't feel as though it's the first time Mark's heard the nickname Sammy the Snake.
Phoenix Nights Phoenix Nights was legendary. That's all I'm saying. Bouncy Castle for Hire. What did he? Yeah.
I
I'm
watched it,
not
but I
saying
can't
what he
remember
says he
episodes.
was, but Sammy the Snake.
Go on, number 3.
Yeah,
These are his eggs.
Acrophobia.
that's flying. I'm just going to say flying through them all.
I'm going to say I'm thinking that. No, it's not flying.
I know this one.
Agra.
Acrophobia.
I was going to say fear of outside or a busy
No.
place.
Open
Is it
spaces.
not fear of the dark?
That's agoraphobia. Isn't
No,
it?
Is it open water?
no, it's heights.
Oh,
Oh,
of course it is.
that's what we.
Acrobatics and stuff, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're scared of doing.
Oh, that tedious link.
Yeah, when you're scared of doing cartwheels if you're really tall.
So yeah, it's
When you end up stood back up
so
again,
you-
you get
Can
So
we all just
technically,
can we all
Mark-
just can we all just take a moment the fact that Rob's just used the word tedious link and nobody's pulled him up on the fact that it's tenuous.
Yes.
Just like to put that out there.
Tenuous.
I know. We've got.
I don't even know that.
It's usually me doing
It's
words
so
like that.
annoying.
It's
I'm
usually
so glad
me.
you said that because that would have bothered me afterward. That I'd hear myself back and go, tedious, it's tenuous.
And his
you
incorrect
idiot."
use of words have been very prevalent.
I'm glad
today.
you're-
Oh,
Prevalent,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so there you go, Mark. You have acrophobia.
Thanks.
Well, I do as well.
Doctor.
Heights is
you both got
heights is a bad one
acrophobia.
for
Two
me.
tablets.
In
once a
fact,
day.
Okay, you ready? You ready? You
Yeah,
ready?
go on.
Agoraphobia.
There we go.
Flying.
Fear of outside.
Yeah, it's busy place.
Flying.
Is it busy places?
Fear of open or
Fine.
crowded spaces. So
It's
let's just-
gotta be on here.
so far, Taskmaster won. You guys won.
Yeah.
Is this working out
Yeah.
how you've had it in your head,
What's-
Rob?
Yeah, well, I was just looking at it thinking, I thought you'd have got more of these by now.
Oh.
Last one.
Well, we got 2 because we got
Flying.
arachnophobia.
Oh, yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
my bad.
2-2. So actually, we're just drawing.
Okay, so number 5 then.
Okay.
You're going to take your shoes and socks off to keep count, Rob.
Cynophobia.
Ooh.
Cinemas.
Flying!
It's gonna be.
A ghost!
Don't tell me
Photographers.
it's
Is
flying.
it spelled C-I-N?
CYN.
Ooh.
Oh, the fear of the colour.
Cynophobia.
Oh, cyan. That's a very nice colour,
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You're going to have to give us just a few seconds, Rob, otherwise we'll never hear the end of it if you win.
Say it again.
Cynophobia.
Cynophobia.
Nope.
No.
I'm going to say the fear of dying.
Flying.
No.
Oh.
Fear of dogs.
Oh.
And it's number 5 in the world.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah.
3/4 of the people in the world that are scared of are female. So it tends to be more female than it does male.
Wow.
And do you know what? Actually, recently, like there's been quite a spate of dog attacks, haven't there? And
Yeah.
I'd never really thought about being scared of dogs or having a fear of dogs. But more recently now, it's like it's brought it to the forefront of your mind, and you think, do you know what? A, they run faster than me, and if they're educated in a way that's your job, not obviously that obviously happens in the police force and stuff. That's what they use them for. But by civilians using them in that way, then that is scary.
There's always an element of risk, whether it be people, animals, weapons, whatever, somebody doing something they shouldn't do. With dogs, certainly exactly what you're talking about now, the press, they just jump all over something that would have gone, 15 years ago, wouldn't have even been covered on news. Maybe it might have done on the odd occasion.
Yeah.
But to the length and breadth that media go to now, to absolutely batter a particular topic, once they're on something, it's like they've got a taste of blood. The press are all over something, and they really want to make a meal of it. And I really think they love creating panic.
So listen, I absolutely 100% agree with you on the whole media thing. But just talking about the dogs thing for the second, the whole dogs and banned breeds and dangerous breeds has been going on quite a long time, though, hasn't it? I mean, like, I remember seeing something the other day where they were like in the 70s, it was a certain breed.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm going to say that it was something like in the 70s it was Doberman Pinschers, in the 80s it was German Shepherds, in the 90s it would have been Rottweilers. In the noughties it would have been Staffordshire Pit Bull Terriers, and I don't know what would have filled that gap between then and now we're on to, what are they called?
XL Bullies.
XL Bullies.
But what I'm saying, it's not a new thing. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
absolutely. There are certain people out there that want a weapon, and they take on an animal and they create a weapon.
Yeah, I actually think
I'm not being funny. The most scared I'd ever been of a dog was my uncle's Jack Russell.
Absolutely.
And I'm not being funny. He must have been 6 inches tall.
Absolutely.
We were all, can you remember?
Absolutely.
We were all stood on the settee, absolutely bricking it. I forgot what he was called now. Absolutely yapping away at us. We were like, whoa, he's going to have your toes. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. I'm not saying that, that big dogs aren't going to do, what they do, but I think sometimes the media just run amok with stuff. They get a hold of something and they absolutely batter it around until, everyone's, there's somebody with a dog. Oh, is he friendly?
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but you can't, obviously, the fact that these attacks are happening, I get that they might make things bigger, but they have happened. And
I'm not for 1 second questioning the severity, nor the need for action with certain individuals taking on certain types of animals for certain reasons.
Yeah.
I'm not for 1 second questioning that. There are people out there that will do things they shouldn't do, and they want to have a dangerous dog for, like you said, for security, because maybe they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, or to create this facade of maybe they're in gangs. You see all these sorts of things where you see it on social media with these dogs, and they've had their ears trimmed and stuff to make them more scary. Mm-hmm. It's certain groups of people, I think, that do that sort of thing. I'm not for 1 second playing down the severity of dogs potentially being dangerous.
Well, I don't think dogs are dangerous.
No, absolutely. What I do believe in, and it's something that I know there's a charity out there, and I forget the name, and I apologise. And their overall message is deed, not breed. So, should you really be, pushing a breed to one side and saying, they should be banned because they're all bad, when ultimately it's bad people that are creating these situations. The counter argument is that there are people out there that can take a dog as big as an XL bully and can turn it into a really, really dangerous animal, as opposed to, we talk about a Jack Russell, it'll maim you a little bit, I suppose, whereas a large dog could kill you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, for me, a dog being dangerous is exactly the same as saying a knife's dangerous.
Absolutely.
A knife is not dangerous. It could be the sharpest, most pointiest knife in the world. It's not
Pointiest.
dangerous. It's the person wielding it that's dangerous.
Wielding.
No,
You're on fire tonight, Rob.
Back into
I'm on a
dictionary
good roll.
corner, Rob.
On fire tonight.
what is it? Wielding.
Yeah.
Wielding.
Rob,
What did
can
I
you
say?
stop with that? I
Welding.
mean, that's my job to get the words wrong.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
it's the person wielding the knife. You know, no knife's ever jumped out of a knife block and stabbed someone. Not to my knowledge. And so that whole thing of it's how you handle it.
Well, do you
it's
know
how
what?
you you do with it.
Absolutely. But I've got to say, you lot are a bundle of fun tonight.
I know, right? We've all come with the
We're all
the
doom and
goods.
gloom, aren't we, tonight? Doom and gloom.
And any plans for the weekend? Anyone doing anything special?
Taking my dog for a walk on a high bridge with my pet spider.
Time at the bar, please.
On that note, guys.
Yeah, it's
Been a
good-
pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same
See you
time
all
next
next
week.
week.
See you next week. Yeah.
See you, boys.
Bye, boys.
Do you have a dilemma? Maybe a burning question you're longing to be answered? Who are you going to call? Well, no one, but just drop us a voice note or a message over email at innthechat@gmail.com. That's 2 N's, not 1 N, because 1 N would... It doesn't matter. Innthechat@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.